Alright, so today I am working on replacing my fork seals because as you can see this one's bad. The other one hasn't gone bad yet, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's probably about the same age as this one and probably getting ready to go. So first thing we got to unhook is our speedometer cable here. And that's just a simple thumb screw here. It's not even very tight. I'd assume on some years of bikes, mine's being an 86, I'm surprised it's not like rusted on there or anything. So I mean, shouldn't be hard to get some pliers in there and get it off. And that's what it looks like when it's undone. Next we're going to take off the brake caliper on both sides. These are 12mm bolts. And my thing's dead. Alright, there's the bolts. I don't think my ratchet's dead. Those are just very tight. There's the caliper. I don't have any wire to necessarily hang this up on, but it's being supported by this rubber grommet, so I'm not too worried about it hanging on that hose. And there's the other side. Brake pads on both sides look like they're worn about the same amount, and haven't hit any wear clips that I can see. So, sorry. So yeah, brake pads should be good still. Next we need to get the wheel off, which is going to be the axle nut there, and then this clamp. Axle nut is a 19mm. Axle nut is also very tight. Like I said, very tight. Fire solves all problems. And the clamp is a 12mm bolt. Alright, then we'll tip tap with the hammer on the thread side, and there's your axle, and there's your tire. Next is to remove the fender. These are more 12mm bolts. Easy as that. And there's your fender. Now we're just down to the forks. Going to remove these brackets. These are 8mm bolts. Super easy. Had to go old school on this one because this little extra piece for the speedo cable is blocking any ratchets. I now have the brake calipers resting on the control levers to keep weight off of the hoses now that those brackets are no longer supporting them. And now we simply undo the fork clamps. The lower ones are 14mm and kind of tight. And the uppers are 12 and not nearly as tight. Nice and easy. And don't be like me and not support your fork. I almost just let that whole thing drop. Luckily it grabbed as soon as it fell out of there. But yeah. Okay, and there's your forks, there's your naked bike, and the guy I watched forgot to mention this, you're going to want a jack stand, if not two, underneath your bike, because as soon as you take that front tire off, the whole thing's going to tip forward. Okay, going to do this fork on my own, without recording, that way I can walk through it with you guys with my whole understanding, and better able to explain it. First off, definitely going to want to keep a fork, the first fork you're working on, in there, tighten this clamp down, because you need to push down on this guy in here. I will go more in depth in the actual walkthrough. Okay, finally got my first one done. As you can tell, it's much later in the day. eBay sent me the wrong parts, found a shop here in town that had the right parts, so we're set. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is take off this top cap here. There's not very much in there. Next, there is a snap ring in there. You're going to push down on this whole thing with a large socket. Definitely need to keep it in the fork clamp to get that pushed down. I'll actually try to record it since my phone mount came in today. That's what you're on right now. I don't know if I can get in here and not block the camera, but it does take a good amount of force to push down on it. But you do hear a nice little pop, and that's when you're good to get in there with your screwdriver or whatever you need, prefer to use, and start working that snap ring around just like that. Hopefully a good chunk of that got on camera. Okay, and then it's going to pop up. Take that off. Make sure not to lose your parts. I do have some cardboard over here that I am just going to be laying my parts out on. So then you take this collar out, dump your old nasty fork oil out, along with your spring. Rudy. Alright, this next part is what I found especially annoying and difficult to do. Sorry, lost my screwdriver. There is an inner tube that is bolted on with that Allen screw. What you need to do, there is a special tool available. I haven't seen it, but again, the guy that I watch do this, I'll link his video, so hopefully you guys can go between his video and mine and hopefully get a better understanding of how to do this and do it faster and easier than the two of us did. So anyway, you take your nice small little screwdriver. It's a size comparison, and basically every extension that you have available, and you drop that in there, and you pick up your fork, drip oil all over your screwdrivers and extensions, and set it down in there. What that screwdriver is going to do is going to hold that inner tube in or on and prevent it from spinning. And then you're going to want to take a nice big screwdriver and have that for a torque arm of sorts. My other one, I had to double up on my Allen wrench with the actual wrench, and that was a little sketch. Hopefully this one goes a little easier, or not. Alright, life hacks, mechanic version. Sometimes Torx bit will work in a socket or a hex head thing. Only struggle is getting your Torx bit back out. However, that's normally solved by just going the reverse direction. Maybe give it a little weight, but there you go. And it usually, I have seen this fail, but usually, you know, it preserves your nice little hex head, so you can go ahead and still use your Allen keys. If I wasn't just clumsy as hell. Again, this is why we're not scientists, we are mechanics. Words of wisdom. Okay, but now you should be able to, I don't know how low I can bring this camera without my whole arm sure falling down, because it is 3D printed. Yeah, I should be able to just pull your fork up. And there it is, your inner tube. Whatever the hell it's called, I don't know. That's what we were getting out. Cool. Moving on. Okay. Pushing our limits of how far this thing can tilt without just falling over. But here we go. Now we can remove our dust boot, dust seal, whatever you want to call. I am going to have to reuse mine because the guy did not have the dust seal, just the oil seal, but my dust seals are in pretty good shape, so I should be chilling. Next, there is a snap ring right inside here on top of your oil seal. Luckily, it's a nice easy snap ring. How it's the little indentions for you to grab on with a screwdriver. Pull that bad boy off. And then, if I'm not mistaken, this whole thing is ready to come out. Go ahead, throw yourself a screwdriver in one of your brake caliper or fender holes. I guess it'd be a brake caliper hole. Here's a screwdriver. And we're going to use that. Brace against your feet and hammer your seal out. There she is. A little aggressive, I know. YouTube don't monetize me. Oh wait, I'm not getting paid yet. So yeah, there's that. Then the last thing that's going to fall out of your outer tube is your, I believe this is the actual valve. Okay. So that'll be the last thing to come out of that outer tube. And then this is your inner tube. Go ahead and slide your old seal off. Don't throw it away just yet. We're going to use it as a driver for our new seal. There's going to be this washer and bushing on your tube. Someone somewhere is zooming. Alright. So yeah, we're going to clean up all of our parts and then get started on reassembly. Okay, now with our parts cleaned up, This is our inner tube, or it's fine. You're gonna put your bushing on, followed by the washer that we saw earlier. Just drop those down on there. And then your valve, you're gonna have your spring come in out of this side. See how it's tapered on that side? Smooth on that side. And then if you end up taking your valve apart, your spring, where's the camera? Tapered end goes down. And then this face sits on the face right in there. Just like that, okay? And then you come to the bottom of your tube, and it sits down in like that. Spring pointing out, okay? And then you take your outer tube, slide this guy on over, and yes, your washer and your bushing are going to fall. It's perfectly fine. As you keep all this relatively vertical, keep pressure keep the outer tube pushed down on here. And rotate it that way. And then I left the inner tube over there. Then your inner tube with your threaded end, of course, going towards where the hole is in your outer tube. I'm just gonna slide them down on in there, just like that. Okay. And then, now we are going to want to take a plastic tube of some sort. I think it has to be about 1.5 inches wide. It's just some vacuum hose fitting that I have. And you're going to want to pound that washer and bushing down a bit. Now we get to do that really fun part again, but this time it's a little easier because we're not breaking anything loose that's been tight for who knows how many years. But again, take your good old long boy. Okay. Battery must be going dead. Not too tight. Give it a couple of ugga-duggas, I guess. Then go ahead and lube up your fork. The way I found easiest to do this, just kind of get some on your finger, some of your fork oil, and kind of lube it up. It's gross, I know. We're going to take our new seal, slide them down on to our fork. Okay. And take your old seal that you cut a slit into. That way you can use this as a driver to pound your new seal into place. Once you get your oil seal down in there, take your snap ring and just pop her on in there. Goes in nice and easy as well. Okay. Alright guys, so I ran out of battery on my phone, so I'm having to do a voiceover for the rest of this, but yeah, once you get that snap ring on, you just put your dust seal back on, and then put the forks back on the bike, put your tire on. All pretty self-explanatory, so I think you'll be alright if I just leave you this little voiceover explaining what happened and why there wasn't a complete reassembly, but I'm confident you guys will be fine. So yeah, that's it for place and fork seals. Like I said, I'll link the video that I watched originally in there in the description, so you guys can have two sources of reference to go from and hopefully have an easier time doing this.